Yo, yo, yo. Alright, what's up, guys? This is a intro to mixing and whatnot. Yeah, freestyling or whatever's. It's the basics and how I get my mix. It's not that good. I'm not really all that good at mixing. But I'm not the worst at it either, so tips and tricks coming in hot. So right here, for the most part, this whole video is just EQing. I didn't know how long it'd take, but it's decent. So what do I got here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different instruments, and then the drums. They all take different spots in the mix, so you kind of gotta EQ them differently. We got low, bass, mid to high, and then I guess just high, like percussion and whatnot, and then mid to high leads. So overall, a good mix of different sounds. You guys do how you want to do it. This is just a basic mixing, nothing too crazy. Could have done it faster, but I didn't want to like up the process all that much. First, I'm gonna mix the Rhodes. Right here, what do I got? Mostly mid frequencies, so I'm gonna EQ out the low. You hit the high pass to keep nothing but high frequencies. So you take out the lows when you do a high pass. High pass filter, you keep the higher end of the frequency. And right there, this is the cutoff point of it. So if you really want, you could like move it up to that. How strict you want it depends on how much you're gonna mix everything and have everything blend together. Just know what you want to do. The more stuff in one space, the muddier it's gonna be, so that's the hard part about mixing, knowing when and what to do it right. And this is the EQ, so it's just like the first step in it, surgical. So basically, the first part of the mix, consolidate what you want to be in it. You see that sound change? Up to you what you want to do, what you had to like sacrifice to get what you want. It sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And then what's that? It's an organ. Now we're gonna EQ that. The Rhodes was like mid, no real highs, just a couple, I guess, lows. Mostly mids. Always remember to name your stuff so you don't like forget. Rhodes, chords. This is just a quick mix though. I'm not gonna like break down all the things to do professionally, because I'm not even that good, but you know, whoever's just kind of starting out, what to do, what it is some things do, and how to get to that efficiently. Right here, when it comes to EQing, I generally just go for like sharp ones. But right here, since it's an organ, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I was just checking the high pass and low pass filter. In some cases, if you want, you could just keep those frequencies, but you know, they're going to be there, so they're still going to be muddying up the mix. How much you want to do that, it's up to you. Up to your ear and your style. I don't really care. I'm just trying to keep it clean. So I do these hard cuts. And try to keep mostly just the basics. And this is just the first cut, you know? I'm not adding anything, I'm just solidifying or like keeping the right ones in place. A little bit helps, at least to open up the ears and see where you want to take it for the after, basically. First EQ, then you do whatever you want. either add in some areas or take away or compress or whatever. But when it comes to that, when you're just trying to, I guess, EQ one little instrument you put into the channel, the pattern or whatever, that's where you add the stuff. And this is what you do. I'm just, consolidating where and what sounds I'm mainly going to use in it. Not bad, not bad. I think that's the cutoff point right here. I'm like, yeah, moving it up, because you don't really need the end of it. Just the middle is what it's taking up. So that's all I'm going to keep. But if you want to, you could make it gentle cut so it's rounded off more and you keep a little bit more. But I generally go for sharp cuts because I put a bunch of noise in my stuff. I'm not good at mixing, so this is just, beginners. Yeah. That's basically where the meat is, so that's where it starts and that's where it ends. And then right here, synth. I guess synth chords. So what am I doing here? Naming it, you put it in a channel, and that's where you start to do the mixing. So what is this? For this, since it's chords and it's synths, when it comes to basses, well, not basses, but things with a little bit of bass, I generally try to keep a little bit, depending on, how much everything else goes down the line. I might cut more bass, but I like to keep a little bit body into it. You hear the high end, you don't really need all the way at the end, but that side, that frequency towards the top, the high end, keeps the, clarity or crunchiness to it. So I generally, this is the hardest part, the hardest thing to mix for me, because I don't want to take out too much of it and take out too much sound. But I also don't want to muddy the whole mix. So it's a juggling act. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I did. Just consolidate the meat of it. What is this? I guess the lead. I don't think I really like it, but it, just figuring out the basics of it. What is this? Again, just mids. No, this one doesn't have any lows. So I'm pretty much just gonna cut off most of them. Nothing there. Nothing of substance. Is what it is. Right here. I messed up right there. Don't pay attention to that. Misclick. I misclicked. What is that? Just checking the sound. Where it goes, ends around right there. You could do a hard cut, gentle cut, whatever it is. That's just where it's down. That's the meat of it. Now this is low, bass low end. It's always the hardest part. The sub and the bass. At least for me. Now, a lot of you guys may be wondering why I'm even doing this. Well, you never know. Someone might learn something, someone might not. It is what it is. Hopefully you guys do better than me. Or teach me something. When it comes to these basses, what do? Be careful when you mix them, because sometimes you see this area, the high part, there's a crunchiness to it that if you EQ too much of it, then it's just bass, and then you lose the sound of it, the texture. So this is a low shelf. I don't know why I did that. I think I'm in high shelf. Yeah, high shelf. Look at that. So like I said, either you could do a hard cut, or you could do a shelf, and you could just kind of keep the meat of it and keep at least a little bit of whatever it is you might like. I still don't do that. Only on vocals a little bit on the high end. But up to you, each his own. The body and the crunchiness, again, it's like in the high end, so depending on what bass you use, you might have to EQ way better. Like right here. It touches the mids too, but you don't really need it because it's going to clash with the rest of the mids. So low pass, you gotta make a sacrifice. Yeah. Oh yeah, here I'm cutting. You see, you still get that sound, you still get the bass, but it is different, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Which sucks. But it is what it is. This is where I guess you could just up it, lower it, whatever you want. The sub for me is the hard part. And if you're EQing it, EQ it right at the tail end, because if not, like the lowest frequencies, you don't really need them. Yeah, this sounds bad, but I was just throwing stuff. I don't expect to make anything out of this, at least as it is. But it does sound clearer than when we started. It doesn't sound better, but clearer. Stuff just sounds kind of garbled without all the EQing. At least a little bit. When you open up space, it just ends up going a little bit louder because there's more space for the stuff to be heard. Frequencies clash in one space, so you just can't hear them as well. Always consolidate the meat of what you want in it first when it comes to EQing. Now that was the melody side of it, but this is the percussion. I'd say this is easier because it's not constant compared to the melodies. Always name your stuff so you don't end up like forgetting where is it? You can't find it. But everyone's different. I don't color it, I just type it. This helps to keep things organized. And for this, even these ranges, they're different. Kick, low, sub to low, and then one hat more higher, and the clap high. You see this kick? There's a bunch of sub in it. High shelf. Or not high shelf, but high pass. And this, where I'm like, you don't need anything below that line. The frequencies are like, you don't need them. They're not heard by the ears. So they're kind of useless. Even if you hear them right now and they sound good, they don't do anything in like the actual mix or whatever. So you always have to cut them. Right here, I'm just trying to like find that line. Human ear just can't. It doesn't do good for it, I guess. Scientifically, I don't know why. It's something. It's more than something than what I'm saying. That's the gist of it. And you have to be careful with EQing just like the bass, the kick. You might lose some crunchiness if you EQ too much of like the top end. That's what I've noticed. EQ a bunch, and then you might end up with a thumpy type of thing, but it won't be crunchy, you know? You hear that? Like kind of like a thud versus it's just being a boom boom. If you EQ most of it. Right here, low pass. Take out the highs. Get the meat. You see that? It sounds kind of more like inside of your body than like hitting on it. You feel me? Mixing them is kind of hard because you gotta, how crunchy you want it. But then again, it depends how many elements you have in your songs. I'm trying to fill the void with all these things. They're all ranging in every frequency, every instrument in this thing, so that's why I'm using it. It's a basic mix. To be honest, I'd make it quicker, but I'm not trying to stall too much or whatever. Just hopefully people get the idea. Right here, I'd probably EQ that. You don't need to EQ more than like 3 decibels above or less. I guess you could do a surgical cut, but it's just up to you, I guess, preference. If you EQ it, unless it's a hard cut, to like 3 decibels, hertz, whatever, it's probably the limit. If you try to do anything more, might as well just do a hard cut. Because it's not working, Might as well just take it out. But hey, you might want it, keep it, or might not. That's what I heard most professionals do. They usually do 3 decibels, that's about it. But you could do 4 or 5, whatever. Up to preference at the end of it. And then, what is this? What am I doing? Oh, this is the highest hat. I just consolidated. Some of them, if you ever have any packs or whatever, they might end up taking like a bunch of space towards the bottom, even in bass. So you always got to EQ the stuff just to make sure you just keep what you want to keep. Nothing really hard to it. It's basic. What is this? This is the clap. Kind of mid to highs. I made it a little bit lower, so it takes a little bit more lower frequencies too, but that's how I like it. If it's too high, you end up hitting the pain frequencies, which is around what? 2K? Can't really see right now, but yeah, 2K. I usually do hard cuts around there. Or surgical cuts, my bad. Yeah, just cuts in general, I guess. But too high, Too much of the pain frequency, it just bothers your ears. I'll probably do that next tutorial or whatever. What is this? This is the hi-hat. It's a little bit lower. If you compare it to the other one, a little bit lower. Even on the EQ chart or whatever. You don't want to EQ too much, because look at that. Then you ruin some of the sound. Again, it's a balancing act. How much you want to take away and consolidate. That's the hard part. And what if you mix too much, then it just doesn't sound as full as you'd want it to, But it is what it is. That's how it goes. I'm going to talk about compression, or do some compression. I don't really go too hard with it. This thing cooks the thing, my computer. Always EQ just to make sure you're not using a bunch of frequencies. Like this, if it had bass, sometimes a pack might contain a hi-hat with a bunch of bass for some reason. Might as well just EQ it out. That's what I did here. You see, it kind of got quieter. It's because more things popped up still could carry a little bit better than I guess at the beginning. I see potential in this, but it's alright. It'll be better. See ya in the next one. I'll probably do more tips.